You don't have to read the Bible very long before you understand that God does things differently than we do. For example, Jesus says things like, if you want to be first, be last and the servant of all. Or things like, if you want to be the greatest, become like a little child. It doesn't sound like it makes sense, but God uses different measuring sticks than what we do. He's measuring different parts of our lives. Because when we go to analyze the church or our own spiritual walk, we look at things that make sense to us, but God's measuring completely different things. And it would probably be helpful for us to know what's important to Him as we evaluate how we're doing and how our walk is going. And so this week I found a passage in Ephesians chapter 4 which will do just that for us. In this passage, the Apostle Paul tells us that God has equipped us for certain things. There are certain things that He would like to see us become and grow into. And those things will become the measurement of how we are doing right now. Again, this has nothing to do with salvation. You're not earning anything. Our salvation comes through Christ alone and by grace. But still, there are things for us to do as we live our Christian lives. And so we need a measurement that helps us understand what God is looking at. The sermon this week is called A Time to Grow, What Healthy Churches Look Like. And I'm going to guess that you are not measuring in the same way God measures. So we need to see what He's looking for. In our Bible study at 10 o'clock, we are still in 2 Samuel. Last week we were in chapter 6, and I mentioned that when David brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, he and all the people celebrated with all their might. And I suggested to you that while we are very good about being reverent and respectful, that we could probably use a little bit more celebration in our services and in our own hearts. We probably need to learn to celebrate the goodness of God more than what we do. Now that started a discussion in Bible class, which was really good. Actually, it started a discussion that spilled out after Bible class and through the week even. And that was really good. So I'm going to take another run at this thing. I'm going to push the button a little bit more again, and I'm going to tell you some of the reactions I got, and then I'm going to react to the reactions, and we'll have a little more discussion about this, because I think some of the things people said were really valid, and I think some of the things we're hiding behind things that maybe aren't right. So we'll continue the discussion a little bit as we begin our class again. We'll talk about the importance of celebrating godly things and God's goodness, and how do we do that in a way that's appropriate. That's a good discussion to have, and we're going to continue it. Then we're going to go into chapter 7 of 2 Samuel, and we're going to talk about David has some plans. And so the first part of chapter 7 outlines David's plans, but again, God has different plans for him. What we're going to learn here is just how David reacts and what we ought to do when our plans don't match up with God's plans. Now, there's lots of good things to learn in 2 Samuel chapter 7, so read ahead and look at that. This whole weekend on Sunday is going to be about learning to measure things properly and about how to react properly and just about making the important things the important things. That's sort of the theme of the entire morning, so you can kind of think about some of that before you get here. Again, there's lunch on Sunday as always, so bring enough for your family and another family. People hung out here again until almost 2 o'clock last week. That was really, really nice. Come and hang around. Get to know people. Visit and laugh a little bit. It's worth doing. It's really worth doing. Again, I'm looking forward to what we're going to share on Sunday. I'm really looking forward to our discussion in the Bible study, and I think the sermon has lots of good things for us to consider and think about as we go into the new week. So we'll see you there.